of the previous videos, the native born on April 18th, 2025 at 6:29 p.m. in Palo Alto, California, USA. The Lagna or ascendant is Kanya or Virgo Rashi, and hence it is placed in the first house. This was the rising sign in the eastern horizon at the time of birth. Ketu is placed in Kanya Virgo Rashi in the first house, Sun in Aries sign and in the 8th house, Moon in Sagittarius Rashi and in the 4th house, Saturn, Mercury, Rahu, Venus are all in the Meena Rashi or the Pisces Rashi, and in the 7th house, Jupiter in Taurus or Rishabh Rashi, and in the 9th house, Mars in Karka or Cancer Rashi, and in the 11th house. We saw in previous videos how the Rashis and planets got assigned their houses. In Vedic astrology, there is a concept of planet aspects or Groh Drishti that has an impact and influence on more houses than just where the planets are placed in the birth chart. Let us explore this concept further in this video. In Vedic astrology, planets are not just static points in the birth chart. They are dynamic, living forces, and one of the most powerful ways they interact is through their drishti or aspect, also their gaze. Graha drishti is the way each planet casts its influence across the chart, shaping relationships, challenges, support systems, and karmic triggers in the life. What is planetary aspect and what is Graha Drishti? An aspect is the house or direction that a planet looks at from where it is placed. This site isn't physical, it's totally energetic, frequency oriented, and vibrational in nature and carries a profound meaning. When a planet aspects another house or planet, it influences it either positively, challengingly, or karmically, depending on the nature of the planet or the graha. You can see in the table that some planets have been assigned multi-dimensional aspect or drishti values. Let's understand how this has been decided by the rishis. In previous videos, how Bode's law confirms placement of planets in orbits around the Sun with specific astronomical unit values, also called as AU values, to place the Navagrahas or the 9 planets in Vedic astrology, the 7 physical planets and the 2 shadow planets, Rahu and Ketu, in specific orbits around the Sun. The Vedic rishis also classified these planets as inner and outer planets. Mercury, Venus, Moon, Ketu were considered inner planets, and Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Rahu are considered outer planets. This placement of the planets was done by the rishis centuries ago and communicated through Vedic texts. The 7th house aspect, which is the basic drishti. Let's begin with the fundamental rule. All planets in Vedic astrology aspect the 7th house from where they are placed, meaning they look directly opposite in the chart. In this example, we'll look at placement of all the planets located in the 7th house. Sun, Moon, Mercury, and Venus all cast their single full aspect onto the 7th house. In this case, since the planets are located in the 7th house, they cast their aspect or drishti on the 1st house of the Vedic chart. This basic drishti or aspect reflects balance, polarity, and how energies seek completion through the other. Since the 7th house from where the planet is placed completes the house, it would show some characteristics of completion with the attributes specific to how that planet behaves. For example, if the moon is in the 7th house, it aspects the 1st house. The attributes brought by moon to the 7th house in terms of emotions conveyed through family, spouse, partnerships. The 1st house, in turn, which is directly opposite at the 7th aspect, would reflect opposite or completion attributes that reflect emotions related to the self, caring and worrying about one's own self and transformation, which is the physical self itself, instead of your spouse and the family and the partnerships. And we also have Sun, Venus, Mercury that are also placed in the 7th house in this particular example, and they are all aspecting the 1st house. Then we have the special aspects of the other five planets: Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Rahu, and Ketu. These have additional aspects revealing their multidimensional nature and deeper karmic intent. Mars or Mangal aspects the 4th, 7th, and the 8th houses from its position. In this example, when Mars is placed in the 7th house, it will aspect the 10th house, 1st house, and the 2nd house. Symbolizes desire, aggression, courage, and inner fire. Mars aspects can bring tension, but also breakthrough and action that is needed in life. Aspects the 3rd, 7th, and the 10th houses from where it is placed. In this example, where Saturn is placed in the 7th house, it will aspect or cast the drishti on the 9th house, 1st house, and the 4th house. Saturn brings discipline, also delays, responsibility, and karmic maturity. Saturn's drishti makes you work hard, but also leads to solid growth. Aspects the 5th, 7th, and the 9th houses. In this specific example, where Jupiter is placed in the 7th house, it will aspect or cast the drishti on 11th house, 1st house, and the 3rd house. Jupiter represents wisdom, guidance, and blessings. Jupiter's gaze also uplifts, teaches, and protects you. Rahu and Ketu, they also have the shadow aspects, and these are shadow nodes or shadow planets, though their influence is very subtle and very karmic. Rahu aspects the 5th, 7th, 9th, and the 12th houses. Ketu aspects the 5th, 7th, 9th, and 12th houses, exactly mirroring Rahu, and directly opposite houses to wherever Rahu gets placed or aspects and casts the drishti. So Rahu and Ketu are always opposite, be it in their placement or be it in their aspects as well. Rahu and Ketu aspects are more psychological and spiritual in nature, representing what we chase, which is represented by Rahu, and what we detach ourselves from, which is represented by Ketu. So why Graha Drishti or planet aspect matter? Understanding the planetary aspects is like understanding how conversations happen across your chart. Who's influencing whom? Where is the tension being created or resolved? Which areas of life are calling for effort, grace, or attention? Aspects reveal connections between the houses, between your inner world and the outer reality, which is your karma and the potential. Graha Drishti isn't just geometry, it's energy in motion. And when you understand how each planet sees and influences your chart, you begin to see how universe shaped your life before you even took your first breath. At the moment we take our first breath, the universe creates a blueprint of the soul, a celestial map known as the natal chart or the Janma Kundali. This chart shows the fixed position of the planets, their placements, their aspects, and their influence on our karma, personality, strengths, and challenges. But life doesn't stand still, and neither do the planets. So the natal chart is what you carry within. The birth chart is the karmic foundation. It reflects what you are here to experience and how you are designed to go through it. The planetary placements show the areas of strength, the fear, the passion, and the purpose. Planetary aspects of Drishti show how planets influence each other and how different life areas are connected. It tells us who we are becoming through the roles we have been assigned. Think of it as the script of your soul's journey, written by the stars and refined over multiple lifetimes. And the planetary transits or the gochars, that is when the life happens. But then these transits known as gochars are the current moments of the planets in real time across the sky. The transits interact with the birth chart. They trigger, activate, or challenge different areas of life based on where the planets are today compared to where they were at your birth. The transits are representing the timing of events, the when, the how, and also the external stimulus. A powerful Jupiter transit might bring opportunities. A Saturn transit might bring lessons and endurance. A Rahu Ketu transit can bring sudden changes or karmic redirection. The transits or gochar of planets have a certain placement relative to the birth chart, and these specific placements and relative positions are checked with conjunction, semi-sextile, semi-square, sextile, quintile, square, trine, sesquiquadrate, biquintile, and quinarx or injunct opposition when the predictions need to be performed at any specific times of the native. So it's like the blueprint and the timing is the overall life story. The natal chart shows what you're born with. Your transits show how and when you will live it out. The chart is the entire story or your complete novel. The transits are the different chapters. The chart is your inner river, the path you must flow through. The transits are the winds and the waves, the conditions of the journey itself. So, why this knowledge really matters? When we understand both the natal placements in the birth chart and the planetary transits, we stop resisting life and start moving with it, orchestrating with it. We know when to act, when to reflect and understand, when to embrace growth, and when to practice patience, when a challenge is karmic, and when an opportunity is cosmic. The planets don't control us, they reflect us, and through their placement and moment, they tell us life is not random, it is rhythmic, intelligent, and deeply purposeful.